appreciate you even saying that. I really do. Thank you so much. But here's the thing, though. It's not fucked up. We're good. People, I'm not going to scream and yell. We already did that earlier today. I'm going to wait for the drop of the song. And then, yes, what's up, people? How you guys doing? Hey, hi. Everybody. So you missed us talking about Obama randomly and the SpongeBob intro. Dude, I hated that intro so fucking much.
Hey, that intro turned me up.
It did? Wait, did you say it turned you out?
Oh, turned me out, turned me up, put me on the street corner. You know, it was all good shit, man. I love that shit.
Take her up.
Yo, it was me and my cousin. You haven't met her yet, babe. Her name's Yesenia. Whenever that fucking SpongeBob thing come on, me and her was singing. And my mom had a feeling like, oh, cartoon's about to get fully retarded.
Yeah.
Just from that.
Or any other word. But yeah, like SpongeBob, the intro. Yeah, guys, this shit, because I'm going to go on a fucking rant really quick, because sometimes people say, like, oh, it's good to put your kid in front of the fucking thing, blah, 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 whatever. No, sometimes it's not okay, because some of these shows make your kids kind of misbehave. It gets them all crazy and wild, like, woo, yay.
You mean like Caillou?
No, that's chill. Caillou's fine.
Are you ready, kids?
Look at this
Oh,
shit
fuck
right here.
Caillou.
Yeah, fuck Caillou. He's a little shit, dude. He literally whines the whole fucking series.
Yeah, but he's not, like, being, like, he's not being a jerk. He's not trying to fuck people over or anything, you know?
He is, and his parents reward him for it.
Has he really tried to mess anybody up? Has he done something bad
Yeah,
to
he
anybody?
fucks with his cats and his like stuffed animal all the time in his imaginary world.
I don't remember that, but I don't remember a whole lot of Caillou. But like looking at this though, fuck yeah. Like here's the thing too. People always talk about how creative this shit is. They literally have a hand popping up inside the fucking thing in live action. Like this is. Why has no one called this out and being fucking weird and stupid?
I mean, that was actually pretty funny for its time, and it still is.
Nah, man, this is bad. And by the way, you hate on the Franklin theme song. Here's Franklin.
That's because Franklin is a little thin-necked bitch.
Wow. You know, you just kind of talked shit about all turtles right now, by the way. I hope you realize that.
I'll beat Franklin's fucking ass.
He's not violent. Of course you'll beat his ass.
Yeah,
you're
I
a
know.
bully. You know, if Franklin would have done an episode.
Feeling that like Jet had like someone in her school or like in middle school or high school, some shit that looked like Franklin and like snitched her out all the time or like mess with her because she has this really hate for Franklin that I don't understand.
I just didn't like the show, to be honest.
Ryan St. Joe
I
was
thought
more
it was boring as fuck.
were you more of a Little Bear or Macy person?
What's Mason? That seems familiar. I'll look that
I
up.
don't
Because
know
I definitely like Little Bear more than I like Franklin.
And Little Bear was on the Franklin show, right? Because I don't know, I'm fucking stupid. I can't remember. I don't know shit about
Oh, yeah. Macy. I didn't really watch this that much. I was definitely a Little Bear person.
Yeah, Maisie the Mouse. I don't like mice in shows because another thing too, they don't really talk about like lots of the crazy shit that mice go through. You know what I mean? Like the fact that like they literally put mice inside of cages and have snakes eat them. Like why is it never brought up onto these shows? No, you don't want to be honest to the kids, right? Because you become the villain once you fucking do that shit. But when you go to PetSmart, they sell mice and they sell crickets and they fucking have snakes eat the shit out of them, and that's not nice. And you know what? I put my foot down today for the mice. I give a fuck about the mice.
I'm just saying, I will beat the fucking shit out of Franklin. I will basically hit him in his fucking shell that is attached to his fucking spine.
So, Jay, I want you to realize something. After 5 years of being, watching the chat tag, seeing how crazy I am, everyone thinks I'm fucking nuts. Let's see, 2020, August 8th, you're here talking about how much you want to beat an animal's ass, while I am here talking about how much I want to save an animal. See how things have changed? See what reality is? You're the crazy person, you're the angry person, and I am as chill as can be. I'm a nice guy.
Fuck Franklin.
Anyways, here's the thing, people. Before we start, because this is gonna be just reviews, and then we're gonna get right into the after hours to hang out with you guys. But before we even do that, I gotta put Roxy up over here. She found a development. Before we started, I know that we can't do a real big segment on it, and I can't even show anything. But what's going on with Shane Dawson and his booty hole?
It's out there.
Yeah, like what led to this latest like? Is it an OnlyFans thing? Was it a hack? Like I don't know.
I think it was his fiance who maybe possibly had an OnlyFans or maybe like a paid Snapchat.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple pictures from a Snapchat were leaked, but now there's a video of him being a bottom to Shane's top.
By the way, do you guys want to just like think about this? Like, look at that face. There's people out there that want to see his asshole.
There is a video of him actually being penetrated out there.
Yeah. Was he like a screamer? Was he like, ah!
Well,
Oh, he
Martin.
took that shit like it was butter.
Really, that's normal. I can't say anything bad about that because it'd be anti-gay. No, that's actually beautiful. I'm glad that he was getting sexually comfortable with somebody. You know, I hope he had a good time.
Do you
Yeah,
know
well,
how hard it is to get a whole dick up your ass?
They don't look that
The fact
comfortable,
that
but I
this
enjoyed it.
man
I
just took it like a stick of butter blew my fucking mind.
well, you know, I mean, uh, you know, love is love, and sometimes that happens. You know, I don't know. That's the thing. I'm not like you're not allowed to say things are gross anymore because the way he's like, oh, like a stick of butter, and it said kind of like nasty, but like you're not supposed to say that technically now, right? Because like even if you're at the fucking restaurant and two gay dudes or two gay girls they kiss in front of you and you go like, ugh, and you look away, you are a fucking prejudiced person. You're evil. You're awful, and it's like that's not right. Sometimes you know, not in the mood to see something like that. Yeah, whether it's straight or gay, and I think that you know, a sex tape is still nature, right?
I'm just more just impressed with anyone that can take that much. It's just like at a certain point that shit really hurts. So if you're like taking a whole like maybe like 8, 9 fucking incher soft, like,
Hey,
I'm
as
just
Nick,
like okay.
Mm-hmm.
look, as Nick said, that's nature, y'all. All right.
Yeah.
I don't think taking a fucking 8 or 9 incher is nature. I mean, at some point that shit hurt.
Well, no, but it's naturally. Like, here's the thing: cavemen didn't have lube, so imagine how that started, right? You know, just some
How
girl-
dry
But-
the coochie back then was.
But the thing is, like, your pussy can get at least a little bit lubricated, so it's not too. Unless they're straight up sticking it up their ass, to where like asses don't get lubricated. So at that point, you're spitting in their ass.
Yeah, which
But,
is fine. There's been worse things up there. It literally excretes doo doo,
Wait,
so
what?
spit's not a big deal. Big deal. Yeah,
Spit don't do nothing. Spit does not do anything, and neither does rubbing a condom onto your tip. It don't do jack shit.
Well, I mean, we're learning something new, guys. Oh God,
Education
no!
here at the chat chat.
Jeans like doo doo can be lube. No, it cannot. No, it's not.
I mean, if it's wet enough.
God, can you imagine?
Yeah.
Can you imagine like cavemen looking at the way we have sex now? It's like, what? I just fuck it still. What? You wipe her ass first. What is that paper that they're wiping against it? You know, like I don't know. Could be a whole thing. That's my caveman voice, by the way. Oh,
Yeah, your cavemen are highly intelligent, man. I'd be kind of confused running into those.
yeah. All my cavemen are just Jerry Seinfeld's. What's the deal with toilet paper and wiping your ass?
What's
I'm
the
just
deal with
picturing,
Gronk trying to fuck my aunt?
Oh,
I'm looking over here at Shane Dawson. He's just looking at Ganja's comments like, I need dick. You look miserable. Aren't you famous?
First of all, sir, I would not be judged by someone who sucked off his dog on Instagram, all right?
yeah,
he did
people
that
are
too?
clowning him hard
Yeah.
right now. Like, Meat Cannon came out with a video making fun of the whole beauty guru thing that's going on between him, Tati, and Jeffrey. It's actually fucking spot on.
To be honest, anyone named Meat Cannon can shut the fuck up, though.
Penis
Meat
cannon,
Here's another thing. People
Oh,
talk
damn,
about...
I got a dick joke.
Yeah, because penis.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, speaking of penis... No, totally not speaking of penis. I'm sorry. I take that back. Here's the thing, though. Speaking of words... Animaniacs is going to be brought back to fucking... I don't know what the fuck. It's coming out. Okay, that's all. Yeah, reboot. Blah, blah, blah.
Hulu.
Hulu.
Yeah, Hulu. There we go. It's not like Jess said, but
I was eating a peppercini pepper.
oh, I don't know what that is. But here's the thing, though: Hulu and Animaniacs over here already misbehaving. Look at these motherfuckers, just jumping on everything. Get your ass off the fucking logo here, Jesus Christ. This is one of those shows, just like what SpongeBob said earlier. This show made kids misbehave. Like that fucking loud music, you know, Animaniacs, blah, 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 and they're just fucking jumping around, screaming and shit.
Just daily to the max.
Dude, I can't
Something,
stand.
something,
I can't-
something, something.
I can't stand loud kid content like that. I cannot stand it. It gets my fucking nerves.
Man, I was about to say something really mean.
What's up?
What?
I
What?
said, like, they don't get no parents. They don't know how to act.
Oh, damn. What are your guys' thoughts on this in the originals, man? Did you watch this growing up?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Or Jet, yeah. You did. Did you feel like it was a little too fucking loud and crazy?
No, I actually enjoyed it. Like, I didn't get half the jokes until I got older, but it was fun to watch.
Yeah, I fucking couldn't stand the shit, and I was of age when this came out. But Ganja!
Yes.
Yeah, what'd you feel about this, man? Did you watch it back in the day?
Nah, I thought the Animaniacs was just too crazy for me. The same thing like what's the other one? Freakazoid. I could never really get into Freakazoid as a kid. It was just way too ADD and bouncing around. But as older I've got, the more I've appreciated it and more of the adult jokes. But other than that, I was never really a huge fan of it. But it coming back, it might have a good run. I don't know. I'm still hoping they bring King of the Hill back for some reason.
Yeah, no, my Judge has the best shit though. I mean, I want to see him do. Well, he's doing Beavis and Butthead again, so that's pretty cool. But like, yeah, like, I'm fine with reboots. It's just this, man. I thought we were over
Second
that.
time's the charm.
What happened?
Second time's the charm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. But I mean, granted, even Animaniacs being at its best, just like the old shit, it's still gonna be kind of like the old shit. So no matter what, I'm gonna be an angry motherfucker watching this. Roxy, what'd you feel about Animaniacs reboot coming up, and were you a fan back in the day?
I was a fan back in the day, and I was also a fan of Freakazoid.
Wow.
All that shit, I enjoyed it when I was a kid.
I was gonna say, wow, like, you fucking terrible.
No, Freakazoid, I actually like Freakazoid a lot more than I liked Animaniacs. But Freakazoid only got like what, 2 seasons, 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this might be cool. Do you think they're gonna do more of an adult thing since it's on Hulu? Do you think they're gonna do kind of like what Muppets Now did, and a few other things, be more adult?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm interested in seeing their takes on like modern humor. Like, how can you bring that classic fuck, I can't talk.
I thought you were going to say Amy Winehouse.
Animaniacs. I want to see how they take like their classic humor and put like a modern spin on it, or like what's their take on like some of the modern stuff that we have today.
Yeah, because if we bring that element into the new shit, I think that it could be cool because now people are trying to search for the adult themes. But then it's like you still got to make it like searchable. If it's all like on the forefront and on the surface, everyone's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, it's for adults. Who gives a fuck?" And they're just gonna move past it. But yeah, man.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at Cedric's comment. Keenan and Hell, gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
Keenan and Hell.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man.
I said that shit. Fuck you.
No love for Tiny Toons. You know, Tiny Toons is okay. Cedric did not like it at all. But Tiny Toons, God, I think this came out around the same time, right? Tiny Toons.
I think that came out before Animaniacs. I think.
Yeah, this was okay. I'm looking at it now though, man. Like I remember watching this when I was a kid, so I wasn't like jarred by it because I'm like, oh, that's my content, it's my generation. But now I know so much about like all of Looney Tunes and Bugs Bunny and blah 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 and all the years and decades. Now this just looks weird. I'm surprised they actually did this. Surprised it exists. But yeah, man, Tiny Toons. What do you think about that, Ganj? Do you like Tiny Toons at all?
All right, so I have a bad memory of Tiny Toons.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a little kid, my aunt was supposed to take us to school one day. I forgot what the reason was, but that's not important. What's important is I was watching Tiny Toons, right? Because she ended up getting to the house kind of late. So she's rushing my sister along trying to get her dressed, and I'm just watching TV, just being in a daze. So, you know, we get done watching Tiny Toons and shit. We get in the car, right? My aunt is just so focused on getting us to school that she doesn't know that the neighbor has just woken up from like their 12-hour crack binge and is going on for another run at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So they both speed out of the drive at the same time, and they both go boom. And I'm there for like 20 minutes waiting for the cops to come. They come, the dude's yelling, the wife's yelling, calling my aunt a whore and shit, talking about you gonna get my man arrested and all that. The cops come. Sure enough, they arrest her man because he was driving under influence. Yeah. But for a good 2 years, it started with a whole neighborhood beef between us and the neighbors up front. So that's the only memory I really have of Tiny Toons.
Wow, that's pretty fucked up.
I know, right?
Yeah, man. I don't know, but I mean, we're talking about all these cartoons and all this crazy shit. Here's the thing, though, guys. I'm gonna move on. Only to just kind of get these reviews and bump them out and everything. Yeah, quite the fucking change of topics, huh? Here's the thing, though. I hate that I have to do this because I've seen the movie twice now. But man, this movie right here, Tax Collector, man. So I watched this yesterday, and then I watched it today with Roxy, Ganja, and Jet. And I gotta tell you, like, usually, you know, doing a review, and by the way, I'm gonna do another couple of reviews after this, and I'll be talking about plot details and blah blah blah. But this is not something I can do that's really like simple like that, because the plot. I mean, am I the only motherfucker in here that doesn't really see much of a plot other than once upon a time Mexicans were Mexican? Like, he doesn't.
I didn't even understand the plot. I didn't understand the story. Just it was all over the place.
Yeah, because like. Right away thinking about this, man, I think that the problem here is that it's like, oh, it's called the tax collector, so we're just going to collect tax. Once upon a time, these guys go around, they collect from all these particular businesses, and then they put the fucking fear into them. They instill it into their heart and everything. And they there's some points where they talk about their families, but on to the next one, on to the next one. It's like a fucking side mission in San Andreas or something. It's weird. But right away, I thought I wasn't going to give a shit about Shia LaBeouf, white-facing a Mexican character. But Roxy, what'd you feel about this? And was it all the annoyingness that you thought it was going to be?
It was even more annoying than what I expected.
Yeah, it was frustrating as fuck. At what point did you already start losing your mind about this? Like, okay, this is fucking bullshit.
Pretty early on in the film, honestly. Like, the way they portrayed this was not at all what I expected. Like, y'all hyped this up, as one usually does for a trailer, but I tried so hard to focus and understand what was going on in the plot, who was who, what the fuck is going on. And even though I saw the whole thing with you guys, we talked it over, we asked each other questions, we tried to like play Guess Who, 50 questions, whatever, to figure it out. I still don't know what the fuck happened.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the same boat with you. Ganja, how about you, man?
Honestly, I felt like the movie was just trying to be the same David Ayer films that he's been doing since Training Day. And when early beginning vibe, I got that as soon as like not more than like 10, 15 minutes in, you get the dark, like dusty yellow tint that Narcos loves to do whenever they're in fucking Mexico or most places that fucking do that shit now. Honestly, this movie was kind of boring at the beginning, and I was given a chance to hype up. But when it comes to like the beginning of the film, I had a little bit of high hopes because I thought it was going to be at least a fun action film. But man, you don't get that shit to wait till the end.
Yeah, because the first person who brought this up, that the yellow tent was Jet. I remember when we were watching this, right away she saw this scene. She's like, "Oh, that yellow." Was it at that point, Jet, that you found out?
Like, why do they always do that? Like, it looks so ugly. It never works with literally anything.
Yeah, I mean, and I agree. Although I can understand why, like movies like Extraction from Netflix, that Chris Hemsworth like wannabe war movie, whatever. I can understand. Or Black Hawk Down, that's another one. And
You don't have to put a tent to basically like show like you're in another place. Like, even then, it's not really dirty like that. They lie.
Yeah. No, definitely agreeable. But like, let me ask you this though. At this point, when you're already seeing this, was it here that you like made up your mind? Like, okay, you know what? I can feel in my fucking bones. I'm not gonna like this.
I had to clench my butt cheeks, and I was literally just like, "Oh, I'm in for a fucking ride."
Yeah. Because this guy, by the way,
Just like Shane.
What's up?
No, that was making a dumb joke. If you caught it, you caught it. Keep going.
Okay, you suck. The thing is, though, is looking at this situation, I feel like his thing. I think this guy's name is Bobby Soto, but like his thing with his wife over here is pretty interesting because it's like, yeah, this guy is still in fear into basically this entire fucking city, alongside his gang or not gang. They don't really talk about being a gang; it's more of a family. But him and Shia LaBeouf are going around scaring people, and yet like this is the only character we see get to be a family person. But he's still an asshole. Like there's things that he does that I'm still like, what the fuck? You'll have moments where maybe he'll do something like there's a guy who is like, hey man, I'll pay you 20,000 soon. It's just my daughter has leukemia, blah blah blah, and he saves that person. Meanwhile, Shia LaBeouf wants to shoot him in the fucking head. And it's like, okay, nice, he's a Mexican with a heart of gold. But then he does some other crazy shit right afterwards, and it's like, well, you just negated that fucking thing. And yeah, it's almost like when you're a criminal, you kind of suck. Like criminals are not good. And putting fear into people is also not good. Speaking of putting fear into people, I think they did this well, but I was the only person who thought that apparently because Ross gonna have you go first on this. I thought Shia was actually somewhat intimidating. But... yeah, I don't know which one of you guys want to go first, but it's like, why did you feel like he wasn't intimidating?
You can go ahead, Roxy.
Look at him. What about this man is intimidating? The only thing that scared me were his fucking ugly ass ears.
Oh, those cauliflower ears.
Some fucking chewy, chunky ass fucking cauliflower bullshit ass ears. Shia was not intimidating. Neither was Bobby Soto. Nobody in this film was intimidating. I get it. You're trying to portray that these are gangsters, that these are tough people, that these dudes run the streets, that they're gotta intimidate people and da 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 da. None of it. No one in here was intimidating.
Yeah.
Nobody. You look. You're really intimidated by Shia. What about Shia looks scary
Well, no,
or
my
like
idea is just like that
intimidating?
the robotic mechanical movement of just like not having emotions. Like if I fucked up, it doesn't matter what story I have. If Bobby Soto's not there to protect me, Shiloh's gonna come to me. He's like, "Hey Nick, love you, dude. Anyways, I'm gonna shoot you in your fucking face. Like you fucked up. Like there's no. You need to provide. You need to do what they're there to collect. You know what I mean? With Bobby Soto with that baby ass face in the background, you guys see him right there. I feel like I could talk him out of fucking me up. I mean, a character does that in the movie, and it's like with Shia, if he was by himself, I wouldn't expect him to take it easy on me. But Jed, how about you? Like, do you feel like there's anything to what I'm saying about Shia, or do you think I'm just a big old pussy?
Maybe you see something that I don't, but I mean, like, if Shia were to come anywhere near me asking for some fucking money, I wouldn't be scared. Every time, like, he's behind, like, the main dude there, I forgot his fucking name because they barely saved him in the fucking movie.
David.
I'm just like, you bought the worst fucking backup. You brought this one dude with this little ass fucking suit and these big old sunglasses and these fucking cauliflower ears that's supposed to prove that he basically got into a lot of fights. No, it just looks doofy. I would not be scared of him at all, and I wouldn't be scared of you. That's who you brought?
Yeah. My big thing here too, because I mean, like, there's parts where like they even refer to him as creeper, and then he's like, "Hey man, like, I'm the devil, man. I'm gonna fuck you up, dude. I'm not even scared of God, man." And it's like,
Not
listen.
scary.
And the cool thing is, like, I'm fine with the Mexican voices. I'm fine. I mean, we're taking place in Mexico. Like, there's one thing, and obviously we're so affiliated with Double Toasted. This one thing I really disagree with Corey's comments that it's really, really disrespectful to Mexicans. And then he brings up people like everybody is disrespectful. I think it's just disrespectful with Shia. And the thing I've noticed with people that are not Mexican, they get kind of like defensive for us. I get upset because like there's moments with like Rambo 5, for instance. Sylvester Stallone is in Mexico and he's trying to save his daughter from Mexicans. It's not even his daughter, but he's trying to save a girl from the Mexican cartel. You cannot, like, they're going to be portrayed as bad guys because he's going to the bad guys. The movie's not saying that all Mexicans are bad. There's context. And here, it's just like I feel like there's like a lack of context because everybody talks the same, acts the same. Every time you see a Mexican, he has to either have a cigar or tequila or eating tortillas or
making a mention towards fucking tacos.
yeah, like
Oh, that shit pissed me off. That shit pissed me the fuck off. There was
yeah.
no need for all that.
It's so frustrating. Now, I'm not like I don't think we're being like sensitive Mexicans here, but it's just like Roxy. I mean, was there a scene that they didn't bring up some Mexican stereotype at every fucking like 2 minutes?
No. I
Yeah.
forgot who it was that said it, but wasn't it George Lopez's character? He made like a reference to something like, what was his name again? Conejo.
Yeah,
Or he
Conejo,
was
he was
like,
gonna go
"Oh,
take care of him. He's like, oh, we're gonna take care of the situation, man. He's gonna feel like he's gonna go right back to selling tacos on the fucking street. It's like, what?
you could have just said that you were gonna take care of the problem. There's no need for you to shove in like, oh, we're gonna take care of his fucking beaner wetback ass. We're gonna send him back to Beaner Land
Yeah.
to go make tacos for the white man, you know." There's no need for all this. There is no fucking need. Just say that you're going to take care of him. Mexicans do not make a reference to tacos and bullshit every fucking 2 seconds.
And it's so unrelatable for anyone who's not Mexican. Because here's another thing: it's like if you do like this movie, because there's parts I liked about this movie, but you're not. There's no chance of you liking this unless you're Mexican because it's not relatable. You look at an example of how to do it right. Look at Scarface. Tony Montana. He's a Cuban, but he only brings it up like a couple of times. He's like, I'm a political refugee from Cuba. Like he does like maybe like twice, maybe 3 times. And then like Manny, his buddy or whatever, he brings up lots of shit about Cuba, whatever. But like 2.5 hours, it's really brought up. So any dude, a white dude, a black dude, a Mexican, anybody can, feel like Al Pacino, like, yeah, that's my guy, fuck yeah, when he's a Cuban. With this movie, like, I don't feel close to any Mexican in here. Maybe George Lopez. But, like, he's barely in a fucking movie. You know what I mean? But, like, I'm not going to relate to fucking Shia LaBeouf. Like, really? You got a white dude to play this fucking role? And then this accent keeps going in and out of being like, oh, I'm Mexican. And now I'm fucking Shia. Hey, how you guys doing? Like,
I don't have a rodeo clown portrait of my dad tattooed on my chest. I can't relate to this.
Yeah. Yeah, dude, there was so much about this action scene wise, because David Ayers is the one who did this. He did Suicide Squad, a bunch of other shit. Goncho, I'm gonna ask you first, man. What did you feel about like when the action finally kicked up? Were you into it or were you kind of confused?
I was into it. I like certain aspects of it. Like there's a few scenes where some characters get got and they do it in a very gory way, and they actually have no problem showing it on camera, which I appreciate because that means they went the extra mile to have the special effects team develop a fake body that looks like his head's been caved in by whatever object the main character used against this character. But besides that, it's the same complaints everyone else has had. Like my main problem is Charlotte LaBeouf's accent. And in terms of like special effects and all that stuff, yeah, it looks kind of cool when they first rush into a certain area and they start blasting. But if you look at all the props and everything else, it's so bad and so mediocre that at one point they forget to switch the license plate on one of the cars they use on a clear front up shot that has Florida license plates. Meanwhile, the fucking movie is supposed to take place in fucking California.
Yeah. And then like Jet and Roxy kept bringing this up too. Like there's moments where Jet even brought up like, there's a camera on a person who was looking, Bobby Soto, he was looking at like this table of girls, and he's just like, kind of like, and not investigating, but just kind of like scanning the area. And then like literally three fucking seconds later, where a character sits at the table, now he's sitting at the table as well, Bobby Soto, and it's like, wait.
Didn't see him get up or nothing. He basically did a fucking like night crawler and shit and teleported fucking over there.
Yeah, and you'll see shots like that all the fucking time. Like, it's like David Ayers is like, that's interesting, but shit, we only got enough time. Look, just you're here now, and like just move. It's like a kid playing with his toys, his little action figures, and he's telling the story. It's a good fucking story, but the thing is, he only has two hands, so like certain people are gonna be in the right place sometimes they're not, and the times that they're not, that doesn't matter because the little kid's telling this fucking narrative. And speaking of narrative, man, like, I mean, on top of just not knowing what the fuck's going on, these actors, man, like, yeah. Jed, what'd you feel about the acting on this fucking thing?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Literally, I don't think anyone did a good job.
Definitely agree. This slow-mo shit here, how so fucking stupid. Roxy, how about you? Like, who's like the most offensive, annoying, like, acting in here? Like, who really pissed you off with that?
They all did, quite frankly, to be honest. But the one who just took the cake for me was Conejo. You could tell he was having way too much fun with this. His inner ego, his whole machismo thing was through the fucking roof. I could not stand this fucking dude.
Fucking Mexican Shane Soon over here. Like, that's the first thing that came to my mind. It's like, oh shit, like I can't wait to play his character in Mortal Kombat. Yeah, I thought that was bad. I also think that there's moments where, I mean, here's the thing, and this is part of Mexican culture, a big time thing. But, when you're a dude involved in this stuff, you're supposed to not react. Like, when someone kills somebody close to you or you're dealing with some relationship or family stuff, you don't sell it. You're a badass. There's points where people very, very, very important die, and we can't spoil it, but, like, I mean, numerous, extremely important deaths, and he does not react. Like, there's just no reacting. To the point where, like, the shit he's doing, there's one person who dies, by the way, and he actually cleans their dead body up, and then he just kind of like chills with it for a while, and there's people that are taken from him at that moment, and never does he go, where are they at, or what the fuck are we doing, or blah blah blah. Like, I mean, I don't know if you've seen lots of people in distress, Roxy. I mean, clearly you have because of your job and everything that you do, but like, for the most part, do you feel like anyone reacted to death like correctly in this?
To a certain extent, I could understand why he was so lost in spending time with that particular person because it does mean a lot to him. So it is difficult to focus on other things. But at that moment, when your world is crashing down, you're pretty much in tunnel vision. But if you have another important aspect that is overlapping into it, you're still going to take notice of it. You're still going to think about it. You're going to be screaming and losing your shit over, multiple of these important things, important factors overlapping each other. So you're going to scream and lose your shit, or you'll just sit there quietly. Yeah. But there was no mention of the other people who were gone. So.
Yeah, it was frustrating. Now,
it was frustrating.
The entire thing, though, because we're beating the fuck out of this movie. And I will say that, more than the first half, I was like, you know what? I'm not digging this, but it's like, who knows what they had to go through because of Corona. I'm not making excuses, but it's like, we'll see. Blah, blah, it's whatever. Just wasn't, I didn't feel it. But where it pissed me off, and I got to be careful the way I talk about this because I don't want to say anything that sounds like some anti-black shit or whatever, because it's not that at all. But look, Mexicans, we don't get a lot of shit in movies, man. We just don't. It's just like, I mean, black people don't either. So I understand. But this is ours. This is a tax collector. This is a Mexican fucking movie. We already got our main fucking guy, who, by the way, Shia's barely in the movie. And not to spoil that part, but he's barely in the fucking movie. But, you know, he's on the poster. He has Mexican tattoos. He's doing this fake accent, blah, 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 blah. And then the heroes of the movie, which, by the way, are barely in the movie, is the Bloods. And I'm like, you got no story with these guys. They come in, and when they kill people, it turns into the fucking Matrix, guys. Like, it literally goes in slow motion. And then the way they even do a deal with these guys, there's a person who needs their fucking help. And when it comes to street business, this is something that, like, you just learn from back in the day, and I don't know if things are different now. But he basically doesn't have anybody to help him. So he goes, hey, I'm going to go to the Bloods. These black people will definitely help me. Meanwhile, earlier in the movie, they're torturing and beating a black man because he fucked one of the guy's girlfriends. Like, that's a whole storyline point here. So then we're in the movie, and tell me why. Explain to me. I'm going to ask you first, Jet. Would any group of black people say, hey, so you're not going to pay us, and you beat up one of our own, so we're going to help you beat these other guys? Would that ever happen?
No, that's the dumbest shit I think I've ever heard in my fucking life. They would not help this dude whatsoever, especially in those circumstances and the way he came to him. Like, straight up, all of us said, that wouldn't happen. That's not how that shit goes.
Yeah. And this is not even like a street smart thing. This is like logic, dude. Like, what if, like, you get in a fight with somebody, and then, like, you know, you beat them up, and then they go back to their friends, and then, like, you lose all your friends, and you're like, hey, guys, so I'm going to beat up somebody else, but can you guys help me? Sure. That would never happen. And the worst part about this is that this guy, Bobby Soto, is now one of the final Mexicans fighting in this Mexican movie. And all the great kills, all the good shit that happens that defeats the fucking main boss is all done mostly by the black dudes. So Mexicans not only can't even get fucking Mexican actors to play Mexican, they need white dudes. But now we also need black guys to finish our movie for us. Dude, this is not a good look for Mexicans, man. This is fucking terrible. How the fuck are you gonna go out there and say this is a Mexican movie? Oh yes, tax collector Holmes, hey, orale, vato, and fucking make Mexican jokes the whole fucking movie, and tacos this and tequila that and fucking whatever the fuck else, and then we don't even get to enjoy our own climax? You gotta be fucking kidding me.
You can't even nut, Diaz.
God damn, dude.
And the way this movie ends too, it's probably some of the worst fucking shit I've seen in a movie in like a long time.
Yeah, like, oh, go ahead and talk about that really quick too, because I'm curious how you felt about that. Because there's things I didn't like about it either, but I want to see what you felt.
This whole movie made no fucking sense whatsoever, and I just kept holding back, sort of just being like, okay, maybe all this will get explained, something will happen. This motherfucker gets a phone call at the end of the movie that basically it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It adds nothing to the plot. You could have left that shit out and it wouldn't have changed the movie at all. And that's how the movie ends. And it ends on one of the most corniest lines I think I've ever heard in my life. I cringed so hard. I think I died.
Yeah. No,
I don't know what brought me back. I don't know what brought me back. But I fucking died.
Yeah, when Marisa says, yeah, it does feel like a setup to a sequel, which, I mean, there's no way this story can continue as far as, like,
that's what I thought, too. I was just like, okay, is there going to be a sequel to this? Because I don't know how they're going to fucking do that.
Yeah, man. Oh, it was so frustrating. Because honestly, dude, there's a lot of stories you can tell in this world. There really is. And you guys just dropped the fucking ball and kicked it down some stairs, man.
This movie was 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Why the fuck did this movie seem like 30 minutes?
Actually, no, it was an hour and 33 minutes. I remember that for sure. But the craziest thing about that, too, is, like, yeah, you said it felt like 30 minutes, but, like, there was some shit in here that's, like, there's some fat to cut still. It's almost like they had to stretch this to be a feature movie, but it's like, you could have just stretched the fight scenes. Like, for instance, can we get a reason why the black dudes want to help? Can we get a name? What's his name? What's the other guy's name? Who are these people?
Another thing that actually made me, because I made him, like, I mentioned, like, during one of the fights, I was like, okay, when did they learn all these fucking fight moves? Like, oh, usually like it's punching and guns or whatever.
Yeah.
They did a certain flashback during a fight scene that explains how he knew how to fight. He's like, okay, you guys are really just gonna randomly just throw this in during a flashback so we won't question no shit? Okay.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Yeah, because like, there's a part where I think even Ganja was in the call and he was just like, "Man, why doesn't he grab this necklace?" And somebody said like, "Why don't they grab the necklace?" And they show it, but the flashback happens right before he grabs the necklace in this fight, and it's showing an MMA move. It's like, well, they didn't teach you to like have instincts. Like I never had a fucking MMA class, but I would know, kind of like how Ganja and Roxy and Jet knew in the call, to like I don't know, use their clothes against them. You learned this off Jerry Springer, man. Like what MMA did you do in this movie? It was no fucking like y'all just wrestled around in a wet room. Like, man, dude. The gore was great. I liked the gore. I thought it was pretty cool. I liked that the movie didn't have a ton of like sexual stuff happening. So, there's a point where like, if you want to show your young kids a Mexican movie, then this is okay, I guess. I don't know. Fuck. I'm like, I don't know what else to say, but Roxy, I'm gonna ask you to say whatever else you need to say about this, as well as your rating, because I don't even know what I'm gonna rate it.
Fuck this movie, honestly. I'm so. There's more to Mexican culture than just violence
Yeah, it's stealing.
and stealing and tacos and tequila and there's more to us than that. And I'm so sick and tired of whenever it comes to making a movie, it always has to be, oh, let's give the Mexicans a movie, right? Okay, good. What's it gonna be about? Gang shit, narco shit, violence. It's never about anything else. This whole movie was a flop. It was confusing, and the fact that Shia tattooed his entire chest and stomach for this role, only to not have that whole tattoo be seen for more than 2 seconds in this movie,
You're right.
was a disgrace. You went and did
forgot about
all that for what?
Yeah.
Nothing. I hate this fucking movie with a passion. It's bland as fuck. It's like wet cardboard. It's like if you tried to wipe your doo-doo ridden ass with some wet, dripping, falling apart cardboard. Nothing about this was good. This was all fucking trash. This is the lowest of the low. This is the worst movie I've seen in 2020, honestly.
I honestly, like, it's up there with mine too, of being the worst. 'Cause, I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of movies, but yeah, but out of 5, what would you rate this? I mean, is it a 0? Like, how much do you really, really hate when it comes to numerics?
When it comes to numerics, because I'm Mexican, negative tacos, negative tequila, negative frijoles, negative, I'm going to speak this shit in Spanish so you know what I'm talking about. And even though some people who watch this movie might not understand or properly speak Spanish, will have no idea what you're talking about. That's another thing, too. I was expecting subtitles in this for people to understand, for non-Spanish speakers, but that was not the case.
Oh yeah, no, it's fucking great. Cedric, how can tacos be negative?
Okay, tacos are negative when they're from Taco Bell.
You know what? But they sell a lot of tacos. I don't know. Maybe it's pretty good.
I'm holding my tongue on that one. I'm gonna just say this: not all of you, but some white people, you could literally package anything, and if you market it the right way, they'll buy and eat that shit up.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what happened here. I think that's just like, hey, we have an idea. We're gonna do this. It's like this movie feels like a comic movie. It's David Ayer shit. Here's the thing: I fucking like. One tacos, and by the way, people, like, we're not just being stupid. Literally, tacos are brought up in that jest. But Ganja,
Yes.
what'd you rate this, dude?
I would rate this a 0 out of 5. It was some bullshit. I'm gonna go with that rating. I had really the only fun time was like the last 10 minutes when everyone started shooting each other. Other than that, it's a bullshit film. Don't go see it. Don't waste your time. Matter of fact, if you want to see a David Ayer film, just stick to Train Day. It's better.
Yeah, no, actually, yeah, an End of Watch. Oh my god, End of Watch is so good.
Yeah.
Jet, what'd you rate this?
After thinking about it for a little bit, it's 0.
That's a 0.
Negative. Yeah, this movie made no sense, like at all. Like you could say, like, yeah, it's a drug movie. Like they're going around like collecting taxes, blah blah blah. It's just like, okay, but is there anything else?
Yeah.
No. Is anything gonna get explained? Barely. And then all of a sudden the ending happens. It's like, okay, that just made it even more confusing. Don't know what the fuck's going on. They certain points they're speaking Spanish, and then you don't have subtitles. I was just sitting there, just kind of like, what? Okay, something's off here. I don't know what the fuck they're saying. I'm just here watching. It's like acting like I can understand. It was just like, what the fuck? Why would you have subtitles during this point? Like, he thought no, like, you honestly thought only Spanish speakers were gonna watch this movie?
Yes.
This is something I could see being played on a bus in Mexico, honestly.
Yeah, no shit. I mean, honestly, I could see this being like a really good slice of like you know when they have like a movie in complete Spanish, but like it gives people a chance to see America a little bit. It's like that. This could be cool, like a Mexican barbershop or something.
Yeah, I could see that.
Movie.
You know,
Like this movie was not fun at all. I was actually trying to think of any positive points like for this movie. There's literally none. It's not fun to watch besides like maybe a couple shootouts, but those are done better in literally any movie. The only like I only got like a small little laugh out of this, and it was like a point that actually wasn't even supposed to be funny. I'm not gonna say what it is because it's a spoiler, but I was was thinking to myself, damn, George Lopez does have a big fucking head.
That's fucked up, Jet.
No, she was right on the money with it, honestly.
Oh, that's fucking.
It's like, god damn, like he takes up.
You should have got one of those big ass fucking like coolers that fit like kegs and shit.
Oh, that's so fucking funny.
Hey, this movie isn't fun. If you gotta steal it, steal it. I would not pay money for this. With all the jumping that they did in this movie, I felt like someone was grabbing my neck and basically tossing me around and shit. And that's the way you're supposed to watch this movie. No, this is a straight up 0.
For me, I gotta give it 2 out of 5 just because of the idea that, like, listen, we don't get a lot of Mexican movies, and if you want to see a movie where it's like, okay, they're trying, or they're not even really trying, but it's like, it's something. Because like I think it's like the only Mexican movie that came out this fucking year, right? So that's a big thing where it's like, you know, having like those parties, having like the whole thing with family, blah blah. They got that shit right. There's points where, like, George Lopez really does feel like a Theo who really really loves his nephew. Like he loves him a lot, you know. And I feel like the way he talked to him, it was very stern and very. I mean, it's very like you know, older Mexican dudes talk. Like he reminded me of my dad and my uncles, or from my mom's family, you know, or Puerto Rican families. Like they're very like here's the thing, and I could be wrong. Like, hey, black people, white people, tell me if I'm wrong in the comments or in here or whatever. But it's like for me, I feel like white uncles are usually like, oh, I love you. How's school today? Blah blah blah. You know, that kind of shit. And then like I think black uncles are kind of like that, but they're kind of like they're also stern, but they're just I don't know. There's like a lovey feeling too, because like you know they have to do like the badass dad shit. But Mexican uncles, like, I mean, there's a thing that's unspoken with Mexican culture where an uncle can tell you to go fuck yourself, and there's no mom and dad like, hey, don't you talk to our son away? It's like, yeah, tell him fucking little shit. You know, like families like to correct other parts of their family because we're one big family, so we're all dad and we're all sons. I love your kid just like I love my own kid. You know what I mean? And I thought that was kind of like that happened on the fucking thing. And I do like the idea of like they're trying to do this kind of thing because they could have done like a black versus Mexican thing, and they didn't. They you know paired it up, which is cool.
Well, they couldn't because they need them for the end of the movie.
No, and that's the problem right there. That's the big problem. Is like I feel like that part of the movie was because of Black Lives Matter and the fucking protest thing. And I'm not saying that's a horrible thing. That's cool. You know what I mean? Like I support the protests and I support black movies and blah blah blah. But like this is a Mexican movie, man. Like you can't just stuff all your fish in a basket like that. Like it's almost like the Avengers thing with the women. And having that moment where they're like, hey, we're going to stand together and get these, get Thanos. There's a moment like this in this movie. And it fucking sucks, man. Like, You couldn't have like the Mexicans get together and with our powers combined, Captain Burrito, like whatever the fuck, like do something. Shit, just one fucking Mexican left in the end of the movie. That's bullshit, man. That really pissed me off. But it's a 2 out of 5 for the gore and the fact that I think they got Mexican family right, and that's a huge part of Mexican culture is family. But here's the thing: if you guys didn't like us talking shit about something that you probably liked, you're not gonna like this next one either. Jet, tell me why you are so angry at me for the rental.
That shit was so boring.
You know,
That's literally all I could say. That shit was so fucking boring and irritating.
You really got pissed off at me about this, man. Like I
Sure fucking did. Like, you can show me a bad movie. At least at some point it's gonna be entertaining. This was so slow and so boring. It's only an hour and 30 minutes. I thought I was sitting there for like 3 hours.
The reason why I wanted to watch this movie is because many people were saying that it doesn't do supernatural shit and doesn't have jump scares. And I think it's a tough task to pull a horror movie to feature length without doing bullshit like jump scare meandering and sex scenes and drug scenes and all that shit. And I don't know, like that was one thing that I was like, man, I gotta see this movie because people are talking about this in such a positive light. And honestly, I don't disagree with them. Just so you guys who don't know about the rental, it's basically about two couples that not only work together, but the two male protagonists are brothers, and they go out to, I guess it's an Airbnb, and what's up?
Oh, did you see that in the trailer?
Oh, well,
Ah!
what?
Sorry, I'm watching on both screens, like, and the fucking dancing part came up again. Every time I see that, like, my stomach hurts.
I was wondering, did anything gross happen? I don't remember that. Thank you for the biddy. Yeah, man, Gene saying you liked the movie. Yeah, me too, man. Marisa said you liked it, because that's the thing about this, man. I feel like a big part of this movie, because they go out to the Airbnb and they're instantly turned off by the idea that they have reasons to believe that the owner of the house is a racist and or sexist. They don't spend a lot of time on that idea, but I thought that was a really good thing to kind of like right away get us nervous of this person, and it's definitely a red herring, not just of the villain,
Generic.
Huh?
Generic.
Generic, you said?
Yep.
Oh, hell no. Why do you feel that's generic?
Yes, it is. Now, I can't get into that without being spoilerish, but even then, this movie is literally so fucking beat by beat at certain points. Only at the ending where it's just kind of like, okay, they did something different, but other than that, it's not a fun ride.
See, for me, I thought it was a fun ride because it kept me guessing. Like, I really, honestly, and maybe you can call me stupid or something, I didn't see anything coming. I was really like, what the fuck? Like, for instance, I think that most of this movie is not really a horror movie at all. Like, it's selling itself, even in the trailer, like, they show, and, I mean, the trailer spoils everything to an extent, but there's this guy who runs, he has his mask on, and he's like a fucking, Jason, Michael Myers, but he runs, right? And you'd think he's probably supernatural, but he's not. The thing is, though, is before we even get to that, we got an hour and 10 fucking minutes of drama that you would see, like, on Temptation Island or something. And I was like, I love that. I'm literally at the edge of my seat because I'm expecting horror shit to happen. And then when this other stuff happens with these couples and then the house and the Airbnb and all these little questions that we're not getting answers to, I'm already like in the mood to go, what? Oh shit! When things that are not horror based happen. You know what I mean? Like, you didn't feel that way at all, Jet?
No, like, I didn't know anything about this movie going in, like, at all. Like, I completely forgot about it. Like, the only time I actually remembered what it actually was when you told us to watch the trailer one time, and I was watching and I saw, like, the director was Dave Franco, and I was just like, Dave Franco? Oh. Okay.
But wait, you don't know if he did bad stuff before. He hasn't done nothing.
That's the thing. Like, I'm just like, okay, he hasn't done anything before, so we'll see.
I see what you mean. I would probably think the same thing about somebody like Dave Franco.
Like, going into this, I thought, okay, it's supposed to be either, like, some sort of slasher or something like that, which, I mean, it is.
By the way,
even then...
Oh, I was going to say, thank you very much, Cedric, for the 100 biddies, and then also, too, you know what isn't so? Sabee, watch the Apple. You know what, dude? Honestly, that might be a thing next week. That might be a thing. Because I love when I get Jet pissed off. But, Jet, what were you saying now?
I forgot what I was saying.
I'm sorry for interrupting.
I was distracted by the biddies.
No, I really appreciate it, though, bro. But
yeah, I was just saying, basically, went into this not knowing really anything about it except for like, okay, it's gonna be a slasher. But then some drama happens at the beginning, and it's just like I called that. Literally, all these movies that start like have shit like that end up the way to where the drama starts. Always.
Yeah.
You didn't expect the drama to go right like that. Like I was even talking to you right before like all the shit started happening. Like okay, yeah, this is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. This is gonna happen. There's gonna be a jump scare here. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The thing is though is like I think that the way things were kind of revealed, I think was like a really integral part of the horror part because, and once again we can't get too spoilery, but like there's parts where they have a very clear option like to get help, and that help can't be done because that help would actually hurt them because of something that they did, because of something else, because of something else. It's like there's layers on top of layers on top of layers. That's like listen, this is probably a non-issue when it comes to most horror movies because it's like, well, just do it. You know, just get help, just fix the problem. Blah blah blah. But it's like that drama is like this weird clutch where it's like, since I'm not in love with any of these people and I'm not in this movie and I wouldn't make a decision that they made, I can't relate. But I can see how other people can relate.
I was just sitting here really hoping this was gonna turn into Cabin in the Woods. I was really hoping, and then it didn't. I was bored.
So when the movie started started picking up the pace and everything, did you like that at all? Did you like when like the action started and the horror aspect was full on forced in?
I was waiting for something, literally something. But even when it started happening, I was just like, okay, it's still going in the average horror movie route, and it stayed like that to the very, very end. To which, honestly, even then, I still think that's a cop out.
Because my thing is like, in a time where movies like this have been showing up a lot more on VOD, is this a genre of horror that is somewhat respectable versus the bullshit that we saw like in the, I don't know, like 2010s, like with the fucking ghosts and the paranormal? Like, would you prefer to watch something like this as opposed to the last 2 decades of bullshit?
I don't watch very many horror movies, but after seeing this one, I think I'd much rather stick to like supernatural shit.
I guess I see where you're coming from, to be honest, because I like slasher movies. I like lots of deaths and everything, and creative deaths, and there's something creative about this. It's the same.
I'm just saying you like this, but you don't like you don't like the first Halloween or the first
Nightmare on Elm Street.
Well, yeah, the first, you don't like any of the big three first movies.
Oh hell no, yeah, they're really dated. But that's the thing is like all they have is the main character, Freddy Krueger, or
Like
Jason
there's really only one main difference in like those three first movies and this one, and that's basically the ending.
Yeah.
Actually, no, because actually, yeah, basically the ending is the major difference between all those.
Well, because my whole thing with those is with Halloween, it's 2 hours and some minutes, some change, where it's like, okay, if you get all the Michael Myers part of this and put it in the basket, it's fucking amazing. That's an amazing basket because Michael Myers is badass, and those moments are fucking some of the best horror moments ever. And they built franchises. That's how good they are. But then it's kind of like, yeah, everything that's not Michael Myers is just we're waiting for Michael Myers. With the rental, we don't know what we're waiting for. We're just waiting for something, and something could be any of the three things that happen in this movie. So it's like,
isn't that kind of like? No, I was actually gonna say like, isn't that how like most people feel when they basically first saw Halloween and Friday the 13th and like
to an extent, but they got the kills right away done. Like right away with Freddy, in 10 minutes you got a death, you got them killing off a character that you thought was gonna stay in there for a very long time and she didn't, and then you got Freddy's humor and his evilness, and then you got some creative shit going on, and then tons of blood, and then
what about like Friday the 13th though, to where like those kills don't happen until like way later.
Yeah, way later. And honestly, like I don't know why people like Friday the 13th. I honestly I have no idea. Like sorry Gary, but man, like, and I know Friday the 13th, the first one is with Betsy.
I like the twist in Friday the 13th way better than the ending to this.
For me, okay, well you know what, that makes sense actually. Like those compared to this, absolutely, I totally agree with you. But my thing is just like I felt like it took too long. And I know like the first one is not even Jason, but then when even Jason came in, like it just didn't make sense. Like especially when Jason comes out of the water and grabs the girl, it's like, okay, so he's a zombie, and then he looks like a kid when he comes out and grabs her, but then the next movie he's a grown ass adult. What the fuck is he eating? Is he getting that big off fish? Is there like some water workout gym in there? Why is he fucking huge? And by the way,
there's some point I thought like, okay, maybe it isn't slasher, maybe it's straight up just psychological shit. and that it was gonna be a certain situation to where I think you recommended me to watch this a while ago. I think the movie's called Bug.
Yes, Bug.
I want to choke you out.
Bug was an okay idea.
That shit made me so fucking mad. Like, how dare you? But I was thinking, like, okay, if it ends up like psychological, like absolutely, and like there was no one in the fucking first place, I think I would have basically flown all the way to Arizona and I would have whooped your ass.
Yeah, because this is Bug right here, guys. Is done by the same people who did The Exorcist, so that had a lot of hype behind it, and you know it's a hit and miss. But anyways, yeah. But as far as the rental though, does get into ratings. I feel like this is definitely a 3 out of 5. It's a stream it late night, lights off, munching and hanging out with your girl or guy. I think this is a good way to sit back and talk about it, shit on. And then if this is your thing, then like it's your thing. Like it's fucking awesome. So 3 out of 5 for me. It's definitely a streamable movie. I wouldn't buy it. Fuck no. But you know.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
But what do you think?
So you would be mad if you bought this in theaters?
Oh yeah, if I bought this, I'd be like, oh, get the fuck out of here. Really? I pay for this shit? I'd be mad.
I'd literally be so mad that I think I would walk out and ask for a refill on my popcorn.
Like honestly, I would actually even
not a refund. I would ask for a refund on my popcorn.
This movie made my popcorn taste like shit. Yeah, dude, I think that even for $4, that's worth streaming it, right? Like I don't know. I think so. How about you though? What would you rate this?
The thing is, it's not offensive. It's just really boring and generic. It's like I can't really rate it anything lower than like a 2 out of 5.
Oh, see, there we go. We're pretty close.
I hate boring movies. At least with like bad fun ones that have bad dialogue. You can really joke around with and everything. This one, I was basically just like, oh my god. And please. and the thing is, you basically catch what's going on like in the middle of the fucking movie because guess what? I'm gonna give you guys a small spoiler. There's only 5 people in this fucking movie.
Yeah.
There's only 5 people in this movie. So after you think about that, what happens at the end is just like, okay, that's a fucking cop out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I thought that was kind of an issue too, but you can only do so much, and especially considering that I think this movie was burps are coming out. Holy shit! I think that this movie was done pretty close to Corona, so I can imagine that being an issue. But
I'm not giving that excuse no more. They could have waited.
But here's the thing. I normally never do reviews by myself, but I could not force anybody else to watch this because I know that this is just a me thing. But there's this movie called Nicole, which is very, very hard to find, apparently, on the fucking internet. But yeah, the movie is black and white, and as it starts, you get this girl starting her mornings off drinking some booze, walking around the house, getting ready for work, and right away I'm just pissed the fuck off because, as you guys know, I really hate meandering shit in movies like this. I cannot stand it when someone's just eating breakfast or just chilling, and that's like a whole fucking like section of this movie, you know. The thing is though is, you know, I think that after a while, because I mean there's like 8 minutes of that shit, and we follow her to work and a guy's hitting on her, and she's just no selling the fuck out of this whole like, hey, I have a band, you should come see our first gig, I would like to take you out. And she subtly drops in this conversation that she has a date, and he leaves her alone. And then we just kind of like fast forward to her date and what his day's starting off with. And it starts off with him snorting coke, looking in his wallet, he's a cop, and then looking into his bedroom with a girl who apparently he just fucked, and I guess he drugged her. So right away the movie's like, by the way, this is the bad guy, and then she is the good person. So, you know, you already kind of have like a versus type thing going on. They meet up, you're expecting it since it is a horror comedy. You're like, oh, okay, well, obviously he's going to kill her, rape her, do some shit, right? Or at least attempt to. But no, we get 30 minutes of them drinking at a fucking bar. And then he's like, girl, I'm in the mood for some food. You want to cook for me? She's like, yeah, sure. And the whole time, by the way, she's awkward as fuck, not even like talking to him and everything. They go to the house.
Man. Oh, why didn't she just say like, you know, I'm pretty sure they serve food here. Why I gotta cook for your ass?
Yeah, exactly. And yet still, like, she's like, well, let's go to the house. And he thinks he's going to
you know, order some fucking wings.
Yeah. And she has his face, like, see that face right there? She's kind of like nice, but she always like does like this kind of like I'm so over you situation. Like, look at that. Like, she's totally not into him, but he's taking certain things of like, hey, I get to go to your house, so that means you like me. We're gonna fuck tonight, right? So she's just still doing this, and to the point where it's like, okay, listen, if someone's gonna cook for you and after inviting you to the house late at night, at midnight, they show the clock, it's midnight, and drinking, and she drinks a lot, and she's just forcing him to drink a shit ton too, you think, okay, clearly this is gonna be a good thing. No, we just watch her cook a whole ass meal, and then he's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, does some coke, comes out and tries to fucking rape her. And the rest of the movie I can't really even talk about because it's so spoilery. But this turns into, like the violence in this turns into something as crazy as like a diet Saw. And then also like the comedy of this or just the stupidity is like on a level of Drop Dead Fred or fucking like Weekend at Bernie's. It's so dumb to the point where like there's points in this where there's like some very violent scenes, and yet like a character who should be going through like the worst pain ever is making jokes and saying, "Bitch, feed me some fucking beer, like give me some booze." It's crazy. The one thing I do like about this is that it does go from black and white to color when she's happy, and she's very rarely happy. But you look at this and you're thinking, "Oh, well, this is gonna be one of those cheap movies. That's why it's black and white. It's like the Clerks thing all over again." But it's not. They clearly had the choice to do color, and they do it in the movie. It's just all story based. So I thought that was cool. I actually like this guy. He's actually really funny. His character is fucked up. The music in this is amazing. But even that guy's like, what the fuck? I think this is pretty good. But at the same time, I think it's one of those really cheap ass movies that I cannot recommend to anybody. So if you guys want to watch something chilling at your house, just relaxing, this is for you. I give this a fucking 2 out of 5 because the biggest thing about this I gotta give points for is that it's something different. Like, what do you think about like black and white movies, Jet? Do you like the kind of style, or do you think it's distracting?
Honestly, I haven't really seen that many black and white movies, especially nowadays. The only one I remember really liking was Clerks.
Yeah, and that was so much from Kevin Smith and the way he writes shit. But like, I feel like violence can get across really good in black and white. Like, there's moments in Night of the Living Dead where when they're eating the flesh, it looks more fucked up because they can't put all the fake, juicy, whatever the fuck stuff to it. There's no CGI. So it looks very, like, tangible. Like, oh my god, they're really eating his meat. And in here, I think that there's moments that happen where I'm like, holy shit, like, this is kind of dark. And I don't think it's meaning to be that dark. But it's cool. Most of the... I think all the characters in here are black, so that's awesome. I would like to see whatever they do next. Whoever made this movie, like, yo... keep going. You know what I mean? But 2 out of 3 or 2 out of 5 from me. With that said, I've been talking up a fucking storm, haven't I? People, we're gonna get into the Discord, in the Chat Attack Discord. We're gonna hang out with you guys, watch music videos, shoot the shit and everything. But Ganja Guru, are you there, sir?
Yes, I am, with the big ass fan in the background because I'm sweating my ass off. So you're gonna have to listen to it for a second.
Yeah, I was sweating too, dude. What the fuck? But,
yeah, sweat them titties. But the big thing right now, y'all, go check out the Umati Podcast on the Metropolis Collective, or me, the great Birdman, check us in, the Ruthless Winter, talk about politics, talk about all types of cultural stuff, bring up some history shit, all types of good shit. Make sure you go check that out. That is on the Metropolis Collective, as well as the Little Sports Show, starring Cedric Pharrell Williams.
Oh, yes. By the way, when is the Illuminati coming back? Or is there a word?
We're going to get a new episode this week.
Nice. So, yeah, guys, if you guys are interested in that stuff, that's going to be happening this week. But we're getting the fuck out of here. So, thank you for chilling with us. Make sure to make some tacos for your family in celebration of a really shady movie called The Tax Collector. We're going to see you guys all up in that Discord right now. So, bye. But then hi in a few minutes. Yeah. Later.
I was stressing.